Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second episode of Mean Streets of Gadgetzan card review. Today I'm joined again by...
Dynamat7.
And there are another 25 cards. We're up to 56 cards revealed, and there's still no exact release date. But I do have an update for you guys. The board has just been released. We didn't do this for the Mistress of the Old Gods expansion, but we have the board. I'm not entirely sure what everything is because I'm not up on my lore, but apparently each thing is supposed to respond or correspond with one of the tri-class classes, like the cabal, grimy goons, or
Yeah, I think the Cabal have the one where it's the red mana crystals on the top left, I believe it is.
Yeah.
The Lotus one has the green mana.
Mhm.
So which one is that one? Do you know?
Top right, I believe.
Top right. Yellow one is the other one though.
Okay, see, I'm totally colorblind, so...
Grimy Goons.
Sure.
Oh, it's the right bottom one is the Lotus one, and the top right is the Grimy Goons.
Okay, and then
Top left is...
what is the bottom left supposed to represent?
I don't know. There's a
Alright.
dead fish on it though.
Let's move on to another update. We've updated a big time Rocketeer. They've just released these with the art of the little friend that'll come out of the.
Also, Talpers, can I add something? Last time we didn't mention this. You said you were really confused about this. Now, I'd like to say, what if you played this with Bran?
I guess that's actually pretty good. Well, I mean, Bran's leaving standard.
I know, but you get a. I think it's a week with the all the other cards still in standard when this comes out.
Is that true?
They said. I think you get a week with it.
Is that true?
I think that's what they said.
Oh, that would be a pretty good 9-mana combo then.
So yeah.
9 mana.
Instead of getting like how most of the ones that summon a different thing are just like a 1/1 or something. Well, think of it if you summon 2 6/6s. That's pretty good, isn't it?
2 6/6s for 9 mana plus there's 2/4
A
Bran
1/1.
and a 1/1 big time Rocketeer. Pretty good. And then we've got the update for the Piranha launcher. They've released the art for the 1/1 Piranha, which is a beast. And something we didn't mention last time, but you can clearly see on this Piranha card, is that the symbol, the card symbol, that Dynamat7 talked about last update, he told me about, is a brass knuckles. So that's what this set will be, the symbol for the set. And then let's move on to our first new card. Card number 32, it's Gil Sniper. It's a common, neutral, 2 mana, 2/1 battle cry, deal 1 damage, and it's a Murloc. What do you think about Gil Sniper?
I think it's very similar to Cthulhu's, or is it Cthulhu's Disciple or Chosen? It's the one that's the 2/1.
I think it's Disciple of Cthulhu.
Disciple of Cthulhu. I think it's very similar to that in strength. Because it's basically the same thing, except it's a Murloc instead of giving Cthulhu 2/2, right?
And it only does 1 damage.
2 damage. Oh, Battle Cry is 1 damage. Yeah.
So I think it's closer...
I think it's an average card.
Yeah, I think it's closer to the 1 mana 1/1 Elven Archer.
Yeah.
Because it has the same battle cry.
But it trades well with other 2 mana minions, right?
Yeah, because there's a lot of 3/2s out there, and I think this card's okay. It's not great. If you're playing Murloc, maybe. There's a little bit of synergy there, but I don't know. Moving on to card number 33, it's Hired Gun. It's a 3 mana 4/3 with Taunt. Also a neutral card, and what do you think of Hired Gun, which is just a power creep completely on the 3 mana 3/3 bear, right?
Yeah, it's basically similar to that, right?
Except the exact same stats, except a 1 more attack for the exact same amount of cost, exact same health.
Exactly.
So that card doesn't see any play. What do you think? Do you think Hired Gun will see anything?
I think it might see some play in Arena. Like, it's going to be a good choice for Arena, I think, but not like ladder.
Standard, yeah. I agree with that. I'm not entirely sure.
Because people would pick the 3/3 with Taunt in Arena, right?
I don't know about that. It's still not a very good card.
I think it's pretty good for Arena.
No, I mean the 3 mana 3/3, but I mean the 3 mana 4/3 could be okay in Arena, but I would never put it in a standard deck. Moving on to card number 34, it's the Worgen Greaser. It's a 4 mana 6/3 with no card text. So what do you think of this 4-drop?
I think it's not that good.
Yeah,
if
because
I'll be honest.
there's a lot of abilities out there that can do 3 damage, right? Or
Yeah.
cards, I should say. You've got Quick Shot for hunters.
Yeah. You have Bash for
Warrior. You've got
warrior.
Frost Bolt for mages.
Yep.
Yeah, I think there's just too much out there that can kill this minion. And if you play it on turn 4 and they kill it for 2 mana, they have 2 mana to play to get a minion out on the board in front of you, and you just wasted 4 mana, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think it's a very good card. Moving on to card number 35, it's Mark of the Lotus. It's a 5 mana 3/5 with Wind Fury. They're still trying to make Wind Fury good. It's just
Mark of the Lotus?
oh, sorry, Grookfu Master.
There we go.
The title on the top I wrote says Mark of the Lotus, but it's definitely Grookfu Master.
It's Grookfu Master.
Yeah, I mean, the reason Wind Fury is so bad is because it costs too much, but if it cost less, it would be overpowered, right?
Yeah, I think that what they were going for is that most of the Wind Fury minions currently don't have much health, right?
Right, you got the 7 mana.
You got the Whirling Zap-O-Matic, you have the Harpy. Well, the Harpy, yeah, I guess.
The Harpy's a 4/5 for 6 mana. This is a 3/5 for 3 mana, or 5 mana, excuse me. So would you rather
Yeah,
play...
so why wouldn't you just put, like, the Harpy in is my suggestion, right?
Well, I mean, this helps with the odd mana turns.
I feel like this is, like, slightly worse than the Harpy.
Which already is not a very good card.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't think it'll see any play, but I guess anything's better than the 1 mana 1/1 Dragonhawk. Moving on to card number 36, it's Backroom Bouncer. It's a 4 mana 4/4. When a rare, whenever a friendly minion dies, gain +1 attack. So it's like
the ghoul.
Yeah, flesh-eating ghoul.
Yeah.
What do you think of the 4 mana 4/4?
I think that this won't be very good. I think it's very similar to like the taunt one. That's like the bear. It's going to be good in arena, but not so good in ladder.
I just feel like for 4 mana, there are cards out there that have effects that are guaranteed to help you every time.
Yeah.
Like you've got the 4 mana 2/4 draw card, the 4 mana 4/4 Azure Drake. Is that 4 mana or is that 5 mana?
That's 5 mana.
That's 5 mana. Sorry, the 4 mana draw a card that'll draw you a card every time. You've got the 4 mana. You've got that new Dark Cultist card.
Yeah.
That's 4 mana. I just feel like they're better for.
So well, yeah. Why would you play this instead of those other ones?
Yeah, I just feel like there are better 4-drops already in the game. This one's just another one that, and if you play it on turn 4 and then they clear it by turn 5, you haven't gained anything from your turn 4.
Exactly.
Unlike there are other cards where you can gain things every time.
I feel like this might get played if it was a beast.
I don't know. The art's kind of beasty.
Yeah.
It's like a big ram.
Because it could be played in like Beast Druid, right?
Yeah. Have you ever seen Kung Fu? Have you seen the newest Kung Fu Panda? Or no, Kung Fu Panda 2, the one with the one with the big duck.
I think so.
You remember Master Ox?
Yeah.
He kind of looks like Backroom Bouncer.
Yeah, he does.
Gotta say. Great move. Well, actually, Kung Fu Panda 1 is better, but anyways. Moving on to card number 37, it's Doppelganger. It's a 5 mana 2/2 battlecry. Summon 2 copies of this minion, so you'll end up with 3 2/2s. What do you think of this effect, which is kind of like the what was the one that summons the trees?
The Force of Nature or the Scenarios.
Force of Nature. Yeah, this is kind of like Force of Nature, except not a spell.
Yeah.
Because you get the same thing, except
I think that this will become good with some of the other cards we'll mention later, right? The ones that buff it up, because it summons 2 copies of it.
Yeah,
so if it's like a 4/4, then it summons 2 other 4/4s.
I feel like the Ooze card. You remember the card that is a 1/2 and at the end of the turn it summons a copy of it?
Yeah.
I feel like that card was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Like that card, if it was announced now, it would fit right in. But since it was here so early, there were little buff cards that were very good and always played. It is just before its time.
I think that this is a very good card if it's comboed with Bran or some other cards that we'll mention later.
Right. Alright, moving on to card number 38. It's Dirty Rat. It's a 2 mana 2/6 with Taunt Battlecry. Your opponent summons a random minion from their hand. Well, I don't think either of us can argue that.
Oh, so I've read this before.
Okay.
I thought it was that it just copies the minion and puts it out, but really it just takes the minion out of their hand and plays it. So it skips over battle cries and stuff too,
Well,
and they can't play it later.
yeah, it's kind of just like the Death Lord effect.
Yeah.
And both that card and this card have in common the same thing. You can't argue that a 3-mana 2/8 and a 2-mana 2/6 aren't good, right?
Yeah. Well, and it has taunt too, right?
And they both have taunt, yeah. Just the difference is this one summons it first, and it's from the hand, and a Death Lord summons it at the end. It's a Death Rattle, and it comes from the deck.
Exactly.
So do you take the chance with... Death Lord was not a very popular ladder choice, I don't think.
No.
Do you think Dirty Rat will find its way into Standard?
I don't think so.
In Arena, do you pick Dirty Rat?
No.
In Arena, would you pick Death Lord?
No.
Well, then I think we just answered a question if this card's any good or not. Moving on to card number 39, it's Auction Master Beardo. It's a 3-mana 3/4 legendary. After you cast a spell, refresh your hero power, and it's another after you cast a spell kind of effect, just like what's Gadgetzan Auctioneer?
Yeah.
Which
It is very similar to that.
Which is a very strong card.
Yeah.
Do you think that Beardo... Sorry, what a stupid name. Do you think that Beardo will be a strong card as well?
I think it will be about an average one. It won't be played very often, but it will be played once in a while.
I think people who play the 35 legendary deck now, people who play the 35 legendary deck will be very happy to have this guy in their deck, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because unlike a lot of other legendaries, this is this can be played as on 3 mana, right? Like you wouldn't just you could play this on 3 mana and it would be 1, a strong body, and 2, you could still use its effect on turn 4, right?
Yeah.
Unlike some legendaries what's that? What is Shifter Xereth? It may be a 1-drop, but it's not like you can just play it on turn 1. Not just for the sake of it being low mana. Auction Master Beardo is both low mana and playable. So, and of course it works in the same way as... We haven't even talked about its effect yet. Refreshing your hero power. What do you think about refreshing your hero power?
I think it's okay. It's not going to be super powerful, but if you think about it, the Coldera Drake, you never really got much play out of that, right?
Well, but see, Coldera, I guess you're right. It's the same type of thing, and you have to cast a spell now to get your hero power back, and you still have to spend 2 mana on it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess you're right, but if you play Beardo on 9, 10 you could do Fencing Coach, hero power, spell, hero power. Wait,
yes.
No, Auction Master... I don't know. I'm just trying to think of interesting things to do with Auction Master Beardo. But let's move on to card number 40. It is Shaky Zip Gunner. It is a Hunter card, and it's a 3-mana 3/3 Death Rattle. Give a random minion in your hand +2/+2. What do you think about this Shaky Zip Gunner?
I think it's pretty good for its what's it called? For its class and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 3-mana 3/3, right? But if you think about it, it's a Death Rattle, give a minion 2/2. But since it's a Death Rattle, you sort of have to think of it as a 3-mana 4/4, right?
Right. Sure.
Because of how long?
Value-wise, yes.
Yeah.
I get it. I think that 3-mana 3/3, it's not the worst stats. There are worse 3-drops that are played. I just don't think it's great. I feel like this is a good effect, and it's a great Death Rattle. Giving a random minion in your hand +2/+2. I mean, +2/+2 is a lot of health and attack. But I'm just not entirely sure how good Shaky Zip Gunner is going to be.
I think it's going to be pretty good.
I think you'll see play, yeah.
Oh, also, if it gives it a Cthulhu 2/2, it also counts towards it. It'll keep it if it dies and you put it back into your deck. It will keep the 2/2 that the Shaky Zip Gunner gives it, or whatever the other minions
I mean,
give it.
I didn't assume that, but I mean, it's good to know.
Yeah.
Moving on to card number 41, it's Trog Beast Rager. It is a 2-mana 3/2 Battle Cry. Give a random beast in your hand +1/+1. How is Trog Beast Rager gonna be in Hearthstone?
I don't think it's going to be played that often.
Well, I mean, 2/3 are the premium stats for a 2-drop, but
Well, because you may as well just play as the last card that we were just talking about, the Shaky Zip Gunner, right?
I mean,
it's
that's
1
what
mana, it gives you, or it's in 1 mana more, it gives you an extra health, and it gives them another minion +1/+1 extra.
Let's compare it to a 2-drop, right? Let's not change the mana draw, so what we're going to compare this to. Are there better 2-drops? Sure. Is this the worst 2-drop you can play? No. I think it'll see play.
You think so?
I don't think it'll see tons of play, but I think it'll see play for sure. In Beast.
Well, and you also have to think this is a battle cry instead of a death rattle too, right?
Which you have to have in your hand originally. Yes, I understand.
No, I mean like the last one was a death rattle.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I like this one. I like this one a lot, but I don't think it's great. I just like it as a card, and I think it'll see a little bit of play in Beast Hunter. Moving on to card number 42, it's Dispatch Koto. It's a 4-mana 2/4 battle cry. Deal damage equal to this minion's attack, and it is a beast, so it can be buffed by the 2-drop we just talked about.
Yeah.
What do you think about this card?
I think it's going to be pretty good. It's not going to be outstanding or anything, but it's going to be pretty good in the end.
Yeah, I mean, this is a... what's the 5-mana 4/2 deal 2 damage?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Stormpike Commando?
Yeah.
This is kind of like that as a 4-drop because it's guaranteed to be a 4-mana 2/4 deal 2 damage, right?
It's basically like a mini Cthulhu if you think about it.
Kind of, except it's not randomly, right? You can choose where the damage goes.
Yeah.
So.
And it only hits one target though too.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I think this card is going to be above average.
It's going to be decent, but it's not going to be really, really good, I think.
I agree. I don't think this is game breaking.
But I think since most of the hunter cards are beasts, maybe they'll be able to be a beast hunter soon.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Beast Hunter, I think, is what they're trying to push.
With like Savannah High Main and stuff too, right?
Yeah, definitely. And it'll work with some beast synergy that we just saw, and a little bit more synergy we'll see in the future.
Yep.
Let's move on to the next card. It's number 43, Rat Pack. It's a 3-mana 2/2 death rattle. Summon a number of 1/1 beasts, or some 1/1 rats equal to this minion's attack, and it is a beast. What do you think of the Rat Pack?
I think it's going to be okay. It's not going to be really good, but
if
it's going to be. Sorry, what'd you say?
If you buff this card up, I mean, that's a lot of rats you'll be getting.
Well, I think that it's going to be similar to Haunted Creeper.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because it summons 2 1/1s when it dies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be about the same.
And I mean, there's not many ways right now in Standard once the last sets leave for you to get attack down, right?
Yeah.
So you're almost guaranteed to get 2 1/1 rats at the end of it, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know, 3 mana 5, or 3 mana 4/4 basically is not so bad.
No.
With the possibility of it being higher.
Yeah.
Just trying to think of cards that buff. I don't know. There's some new cards that have been introduced in this expansion that could work with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to card number 44, it's Knuckles. It's the legendary. It's a 5-mana 3/7. After this attacks a minion, it also hits the enemy hero, and it is a beast. So it's a. What do you think of Knuckles?
I think it's probably slightly above average for a card. I mean, it's not like a typical hunter card where you try and go face a lot, right?
Right, because this card already goes face by itself.
Yeah. And hunters typically need minions with more attack than health, right?
Yeah.
And this just has a lot of health and next to no attack, really. But then again, if you buff it up somehow with those like Shaky Zip Gunner and stuff, then that can be doing more damage every time it attacks, right?
Mm-hmm. And it'll hit face every time, so you can clear a minion and some work, right?
Yeah.
I like it. I don't love it, but I like it. Let's move on to card number 45. It is Smuggler's Run. It is a 1-mana spell, and we are now in the Dr mm, Rogue class?
It's the paladin.
Paladin class, there we go. Colors are hard. It's a 1 mana spell that gives all minions in your hand +1/+1. What do you think about Smuggler's Run?
I think it's okay. It's not as good as the or it's is it this? Sorry, what was I thinking? It's the same as the druid one, right? No, sorry, it's not. It gives the druid one gives your minions on the board 1/1. This gives the ones in your hand 1/1. This is slightly better, I'd say.
I agree.
In my opinion.
Because you're more likely to have more minions in your hand.
Well, and it's a good turn 1 play, right?
Yeah.
The other one you can't play on turn 1.
You have to have a board first, yeah.
This one you can play on turn 1 and then tempo out of it.
Yep. Alright, let's move on to card number 46. It's Grime Street Outfitter. It's a 2-mana 1/1 battle cry. Give all minions in your hand +1/+1. So the same effect as the spell we just saw. What do you think of this Grime Street Outfitter?
It's I think it's a bit slow for Paladin, although it's really good. It's going to be really slow for them to play.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't. It's basically like using a hero power, except giving your minions 1/1, right?
Yeah.
A 2-mana 1/1.
I don't think it's gonna be great either. Let's move on to card number 47. It's Grime Street Enforcer. It's a 5-mana 4/4. At the end of your turn, give all minions in your hand +1. I can see a pattern emerging. Can you?
With what?
The giving all your minions in your hand +1/+1.
Yeah.
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 I think they're really trying to push that on Paladin here, that you want to give minions in your hand +1/+1. You want to have minions in your hand, things like that, right?
Yeah. I think it's going to be like a slightly above average card.
I think this card's going to be pretty good. Alright, let's move on to card number 48. It's Grime Street Protector. 3 Grime Street cards in a row with a 7-mana 6/6 taunt battle cry. Give adjacent minions Divine Shield. This card...
I think it's very reminiscent of Tyrion.
A little bit like Tyrion.
Even though it doesn't give you the weapon in the end, it's going to be probably rated about the same since it gives 2 minions Divine Shield instead of 1 itself.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a good card.
Yep.
And it's not even a legendary. You're going to have 2 of these in your deck.
And it's rare.
Yeah, it's
so
not even epic.
So expect a lot of these in an arena.
You're right. Let's move on to card number 49. Shaku the Collector. It's a shaman... No, rogue legendary. It's a 3-mana 2/3 stealth. Whenever this attacks, add a random card to your hand from your opponent's class. So they're still going to this cool part of Hearthstone, the stealing cards.
I think that they're aiming for it to be able to attack multiple times, but I think 3-mana 2/3 won't last very long on a board.
Well, I mean, even 1 or 2 attacks. That's 2 more.
Well,
cards.
you're basically guaranteed 1 attack with its stealth, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not really that helpful if you only get 1 attack out of it, because it's basically like a Undercity Huckster, but not quite as good, I'd say.
Yeah, because it might not be able to attack, right?
Yeah.
So you would lose out on that effect. A Huckster for sure you're gonna get it unless you silence it, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to card number 50. It's Grimy Gadgeteer. It's a 4-mana 4/3 warrior card. At the end of your turn, give a random minion in your hand +2/+2. What do you think of Grimy Gadgeteer?
I think it's okay, but it's not. It's not really good.
Yeah, if I'm being honest with you, I don't love this card. 4-mana 4/3 is not premium stats.
But then again, it's giving a minion. It's at the end of your turn, right? It's not just a one-time thing. So if it can stay on the board multiple turns, then that just stacks up.
You're guaranteed to get 1 of those in.
Yeah, you're guaranteed to get 1 of them.
So, I mean, I guess it's more like a 4-mana...
It's kind of like the 3-mana 3/4 that gives your Cthulhu 1/1 at the end of your turn.
Yeah, kind of like that. Let's move... I think that card's better, though, because it's a 3/4, not a 4/3.
Yeah.
Let's move on to card number 51. It's Grime Street Pawnbroker. It's a 3-mana 3/3 battle cry. Give a random weapon in your hand +1/+1. What do you think of this Grime Street Pawnbroker?
I think it's not going to be that good because people are still going to be playing Acidic Swamp Ooze and Harrison Jones and everything, so giving your weapon +1/+1, it's not going to be as good.
Harrison would actually make it... would make this card worse.
Yeah, it would make it worse.
Isn't Harrison in League of Explorers though?
No, it's in the base game.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, it is.
Are you sure about that?
Yep, look it up if you want.
I'm gonna look it up while you talk about the next card, number 52, Stolen Goods. Give a random taunt minion in your hand, +3/+3.
I don't think it's a very good card. If you can pull it off with some sort of like 3-mana taunt next turn, like with the Ironforge Bear or the 4/3 that we were talking about earlier, then it's pretty good because then you'd get like either a 6/6 or a 7/6, right, with taunt.
Mm-hmm. Hey, turns out Harrison Jones is in the classic set.
I knew it.
So yeah, I agree with you. I don't think this card's very good. I don't think you can find a situation that's actually in a good deck that would make this card any good.
I think it's only good in Bolster Warrior, which they seem to be trying to push for.
Yeah, there are a lot of taunt cards, I just realized. Number 53, though, is a taunt card. It's Ali Armorsmith. This was actually a card released by Raynat, I believe. It's a 5-mana 2/7 taunt. Whenever this minion deals damage, gain that much armor. So it's whenever this minion deals damage instead of...
Oh, I didn't even notice it had taunt. That makes it slightly better than I thought. I mean, I don't think it's going to be really good, but it's going to be decent enough to be played sometimes.
Yeah, but it's unlike the other Armorsmith, it's whenever it deals damage, not receives damage.
But the other thing is that
Or does the other one deal damage?
But the other thing is that the other Armorsmith can gain armor from other minions too.
Mm-hmm.
This guy can only gain armor if it's him.
But you're guaranteed to gain. Oh, well, you're probably gonna gain 2, though, right?
Probably.
Unless they.
But unless it's with spells they kill them, because technically then he or she does not deal damage.
I guess, yeah. I don't know. I don't think this card's great, but I don't think it's terrible.
And it's also really bad against Shadow Word Pain, and I feel like we'll be seeing a lot more priests.
Cabal Shadow Priest.
Yeah, Cabal Shadow Priest.
Moving on to card number 54, it is Thorium Knuckles. What do you think of? It's a 4-mana weapon for Champ.
Warrior.
It's a 2/3, 2 attack, 3 durability.
After your hero attacks, to give a random minion in your hand +1/+1. So I feel like if you think about it, in the end it's gonna be a 4-mana 5/6, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's not bad. 4-mana 5/6.
Not terrible. Could be worse.
But the thing is, it's damage in increments, though, right?
Yeah, I don't love it still, though. I don't think it's gonna be great. I don't think it's gonna see tons of play.
I think it's going to see more play than Tentacles for Arms, but it's not going to be that much played.
So you mean it's going to go in at least one deck ever?
Yeah.
Because Tentacles for Arms did not go in any
Nope.
decks.
Ever.
That was the 5-mana...
2/2.
Return it to your hand, right?
Yeah.
That was the stupidest card ever. Let's move on to an update. There's been new card art for all of the tri-class. They've given it this little thing underneath the mana symbol.
Yeah.
That tells you
that was there originally, wasn't it?
It wasn't in our original video, so I just updated. Here's Lotus Agents with the art, Cabal Courier with the art, and Kazakis with the art. But let's move on to the last 2 new cards. It's number 55. Oh, sorry, Grime Street Informer got it as well. Number 55, it's Grime Street Smuggler. He's of the Grimy Goons tri-class. It's a 3-mana 2/4 battle cry. Give a random minion in your hand +1/+1, and this is for the Grimy Goons tri-class. So what do you think of this card?
I don't think it's very good.
3-mana 2/4 is not terrible.
I think it's slightly under average. Because with Paladin and Warrior trying to keep the board clear, and with Hunter you're trying to keep it, like you're trying to go face. Mm-hmm. This doesn't seem very useful for any of those reasons.
I agree. Alright, let's move on to the last card then. Number 56, it's Don Handshow, the tri-class Grimy Goons. He's the mob boss. He's the Dawn, as they would say. He's a 7-mana 5/6 battle cry. Give a random minion in your hand +5/+5. Is this card insane or what?
I think it's slightly above average. It's not as good as Kazakis. You think
every card is slightly above average?
I think it's not as good as Kazakis.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I think this card's good. It's basically 11. It's 10-11 of value.
I feel like it's not going to be as good as the other tri-class cards for the legendaries, just because it has such a sort of like plain ability that every other normal one has, every other normal minion.
I understand what you mean. It's not exciting. It's not using the new systems.
Yeah, well, it is, but it's
It's
using the same system that every other new card has.
yeah. Okay, I understand what you mean. I don't know. I think it's gonna see a lot of play though. In my opinion.
I don't think so.
Alright, that's it. So thank you very much for watching this second episode of Mean Streets of Gadgetzan card review. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you agreed with some of our opinions. If you don't, leave a comment down below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And come check us back next Saturday.
Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday. Come check us out next Saturday to see a new set of cards. Signing out from Talpers and
Dynamite 7.
We'll see you guys next week. Make sure.
Bye.
Actually, come back on Monday. Hearthstone Mondays, guys.
Yeah.
See you then.
Bye.